Please welcome to the stage Laura Brownson Beth Levison and Lemon Andersen. So we're going to take, I guess, a statement. I guess if you want to say anything, we'll take a couple of questions from the audience for the filmmakers and for you. So,
well, thank you. Everyone should give a round of applause to Calixto and New York International Latino Film Festival for finally making one of my dreams come true, which is to be part of the Latino community. I think it's been a long time coming, and I finally feel welcomed into the community. I have a really, really big fond and admiration for as a writer and performer. So thank you so much for that. I really don't know what to say. You know, I just lived, and they made the film. So you should leave the questions to them. So thank you.
I don't know if you have a statement first, and then we'll ask some questions.
Just, again, total honor, and thank you for, it sounds like you might have liked it, and thank you for that, and, you know, yeah, we're open to any questions, and he's humble, and he wants to make sure we get our due as filmmakers, but this film would not have been a film without Lemon, and we did it, we worked hard, but really, he deserves as much as we do, so thanks, everyone.
And behind every man, there's a great partner. And I want to please give it up to Marilyn Andersen, his wife. Marilyn, where are you? Where is she? Where is she? Marilyn. Did you step away? I think they're fighting her now. When she comes out, she'll say hi. We're going to take a couple of questions from the audience. So does anyone have any questions? You, sir.
Carlos Anaya, managing editor for my Lifestyle magazine. Such a pleasure. And such a great talent. My question is, how are you healing the process? Because I'm sure this has been a healing process for you.
You know, working on another play. Just writing, going for it. You know, I think that you just don't stop. You know, too caught up in another show right now to even care about what happened in the last show. And I've toured the show that you guys saw around the world, doing it in Brooklyn finally for the first time ever. Finally bringing a Brooklyn story to Brooklyn next month, so I'm excited about that. And, you know, this show took off and did very well, and my life has changed. But at the same time, I think like a writer, and I'm haunted by new work, and so the healing is in more work. So.
Any other questions? Yeah.
All this pain inside, and I'm so honored that you were able to do that. You gave that to me. All this pain just came out, and it's an honor for you to share it with me.
Thank you. Take any other questions? There.
Has this movie furthered or changed your relationship with American Place Theater?
Yeah, you know, it's fun how it's. Well, what happened now is that American Place Theater took the play back on as of yesterday.
Yay!
So now, you know, there's going to be you know, I kept a relationship with them. You know, I didn't necessarily turn my back on them, and I kept chasing after them like how I do. You know, I just, even if you say no to me, I'm going to say yes all the way through. So I went back to them, and I offered them an opportunity that if they were ever in a place where they were missing one of their shows didn't show up, or if an actor didn't show up for one of their other plays, that they always had me to show up and replace that show. So it was exciting to show up to some of, you know, these places that no one knew what show they were going to get, because the actor from an American Place Theater show bowed out, so they couldn't see Down These Mean Streets or Secret Life of, you know, Wondrous Life of, you know, wow, they have that show as well. When that guy didn't show up, they would get County of Kings. And the audience would be like, "Oh shit, this comes with sound design," you know. It would be great. But it's also like you don't really you know, you have to understand that it hurt me more than it hurt them to kind of move on. And I didn't really want that, but I wanted to take care of the people I love and show respect to an art form that I feel, and a world like the Latino and the urban world and the street world, to be in the main stage, you know, downtown. And that was the real goal. And some people got hurt in the process. And yet I didn't want to hurt them by turning my back and not being their friend anymore. So now, where we're at with American Place Theater is they have a show starting in 2013, 2014, where an actor is actually doing County of Kings around the nation for young people.
This question is for the filmmakers. I wanted to ask you, what made you pick Lemon, and what was the trust? You know, you have to, every time you open yourself up, you know, he doesn't know you, he's never really met you, but what was that process like of building that trust to get somebody to be in your homes with cameras and really hope that they don't commercialize it or, you know, Jersey Shore it, it's something else?
Not me.
Yeah, he's not Jersey Shore, but we might have been able to do something bad with it. It was a very simple sort of, I saw Lemon perform. I was, you know, there's a raw talent and a incredible charisma and something that you kind of are drawn to in a way that, you know, look, Lemon and my lives are so very different. I am not necessarily a spoken word fan. I'm none of those things, but you know, it's a very human experience, and to me, what he was communicating was so worthwhile. And I knew there was a story in the past that was like, wow, that is so filmic, that is so riveting, that is so important, but I didn't know if there was a film in the present. And so Beth, who is my good friend and also filmmaker, I went to her and I said, you know, I saw this guy, and he's like, incredible, and I want to meet with him, and let's see. And so it so happened that there was not only a past story worth telling, but a present story worth telling. And he said, you know, I'm in a shitty place and I want to get out of it, and I am going to put my life story on the stage in New York, and watch me. And I was sort of one of those like, okay, sure, we'll do it. I mean, either he was going to fail miserably or he was going to triumph, and thank God that it was the last. And, you know, we feel really lucky. That's sort of...
But I think this film is about many things. It's about Lemon's talent, but in many ways it's also about relationships. And it's about our relationship with Lemon and him allowing us into his life, and our relationship with Marilyn as well. And it's a relationship with two filmmakers that are sort of behind the scenes, and it's a relationship about us with you. So, I don't know, I think it's something to take away from this film. It's about the role of relationships in any creative endeavor, and how important that they are. And that creative endeavors don't necessarily happen because of like solo entrepreneurialism, I guess.
Oh, they're so nice. You know how many times I made these women cry? How many times I told them to get out of my face with that damn camera? See, that's the real shit, okay? Get out of my face with the camera. Stop telling me what I should do. How many questions should I answer? Can't stand this shit. Get out of my face. It's happened for 3.5 years. I have been stalked by them. You know, that's the process. You know, when you really want your story, you chase someone down for it. You chase that story. And that's what really happened, and they're being very nice right now. But I've made both of these women cry. Personally, I've offended their husbands. I don't give a fuck. I mean, you know, not at least, you know, my life, you showing up on Christmas with cameras, shit. Fuck. I was drunk last night, damn it. You know? I know. You'll see in the PBS or the DVD special, they show all that shit. But it's, you know, here's the deal. That's the process, okay? That's the real process. And we're always being nice about answering questions. But it's a rigorous process. And you have to endure. And you have to keep going till you get your story. And congratulations to them, they got their story.
You got a question over there?
Hey, Lem, how you doing? It's Raquel. I just, first of all, I've seen your show. You know, I love your show a lot. And I want to ask the filmmaker specifically, in your show, you explore your relationship to your father and kind of the part of you that is a part of him. And in the film, I definitely got a deeper insight into your relationship with your mother. And then we didn't hear much about or the exploration of your relationship to your father. Was that just due to time? I know it's hard when you're cutting to fit everything in. Was there kind of anything behind that?
Yeah, you know, filmmaking in general is really about editing, and we had hundreds of hours of story and, you know, verite footage that we'd shot, but then his beautiful play, and we had to just, you have to make, it's like they call it killing the babies, and that was a baby we had to kill. But for those that don't know, and Lemon could probably describe better, his father is of Norwegian descent and a Vietnam vet. And, you know, I think in many ways, equally as much as Millie had a huge impact on Lemon and who he is today, his sort of sensitivity and his cute blonde hair and all those things as well. You know, that was a baby we had to kill, and as painful as it was, he is Millie's boy, and Millie was like, you can't tell the story without her, so.
Any other questions? I'll take you in the back.
What was the poem that you read that changed your life?
Please Don't Take My Air Jordans by Reggie Gaines. It wasn't my poem. You think I wrote my poem was the poem that changed my life? No, you have to work on that poem for a while. It's not the first poem. You have to really, the poem that changed my life was written by somebody else, and his name was Reggie Gaines, and then I chased his hustle after that, and I found him many years later when I started, well, 2 or 3 years later when I started becoming a poet myself. And the reason why the poem was so special was that it really related to my community. It was a story about a kid being robbed for his Air Jordans by a kid who was struggling with his ego, and it all rhymed in iambic pentameter very beautifully. It was amazing, and he had a great voice, and he was writing a Broadway show called Bringing the Noise, Bringing the Funk. So I was chasing that guy's career. It so happened that he became my mentor. So it worked out.
We'll take the question in the back. You.
Do you have an agent or a manager, and why were you doing the negotiations?
What?
He has an entourage.
Pretty much. I have a lot of non-exclusive, gang-related friends. Well, you know, I don't really know how to answer that question. It sounds like a lot of politics. I don't know, you know, I just do the work, and I have people around me who I show up to them with paper, and, you know, it gives them something to stand on. I mean, that's pretty much how it goes. You can't sit there and wait for people to work for you. You heard what I said? Okay.
Answer that question.
Look, one of the realities of entertainment industry is that, you know, the people that are on the inside have the inside scoop to it, representation, management, etc., etc. And then for those that are not necessarily on the inside, it's a harder road. And I think a lot of what you watch in this film is like how hard it is, and how many doors are closed, and how often you have to make really tough decisions in order to like make those doors open. And you know, Lemon's on his way to great management, and has good management and great representation and all those things. But you know, in the beginning, he's had to do a lot of it on his own. He has support, but he's had to do a lot of it on his own. He won't say that.
I'm pretty sure for any artist who's really been through this, like any true artist, there's a bunch of yes people, and people who say they're going to do this for you and they don't do jack, and people who say they're going to connect you and they don't really do that. So I think that's just the struggle, which is interesting about this, is it shows you know, the struggle of an artist, like an everyday artist, that could have been you or whatever. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that people can relate to in the hustle and bustle of trying to get a show up or trying to get a film produced. Hollywood is even worse than this. So, yeah, that's not fun. But, you know, it is something that everyone can relate to.
So sharp. Sharp. Calixto's always sharp. You know, it's guys, just work. If anybody in here is an artist, you can only stand on your work. You can show up to whoever you want with a body of work and something's going to stick. And that's all you can come to. These people are not in the business of doing favors. And that's okay, because that's what makes the business works. You know, you just show up and you rock, and you know, you hope that the work transcends into a ticket, and then that ticket sells. And you start to grow. As long as you start thinking that way, you'll start to grow. And I care, because, you know, I work with young people. I try my best to find myself in a room talking to artists and actors all the time. You can really only stand on your work. So.
And I think that that was a real inspiration for us as filmmakers. Laura and I had each had good careers before making this film, but it was our first independent feature film, and I think Lemon really showed us the way, that it's about the work, and it was a real inspiration for us, and it kept us going. And it's, I think, a message in some ways in this film that it takes a lot of work, and you don't just get anything, you have to work for it. And if you're going to work for it, then you have to have some discipline. So.
We have a question back there. I'm going to take 2 more questions.
What's your experience like now that you have like more helping hands all around you as opposed to like when you first started?
You know, I'm here, I'm living in the present. You know, I think this is probably the greatest film festival for me because it puts me in front of my own people. So I'm enjoying this moment now with great collaborators and friends that I've been struggling with their art as they've been watching me and filming me with my art. So that's where I'm at immediately. You know, it's not about how far you can travel, what kind of swag bag you got walking out the door. It's really about, like, where are you at this moment? And in this moment, I'm at the film festival in my own city where I was born and raised with great friends and people who care about my community. And that's the answer I can give you. Okay?
We have a gentleman in the back.
Thank you for sharing your life, your experience. You're a role model, at least to me, and I know to many other people. Where are you going? So we can be ready to follow you. Your motivation.
All right, watch this. So here's the deal. I got some great actors in the audience that I'm working with. Okay.
You're a great motivation, not only professionally, but like emotionally and mentally. It really touched when you started. So again, like, where are you going? Where should we follow? Where should we get ready to follow you to? Because I know you're going places.
Oh, thank you. Well, next up is Dolomite, the play. You know, we're doing a play about Dolomite, and we're doing a play with great actors. You know, it's a dream of mine. I've been trying to write this play for a long time. It's called Toast, and I just came back from Sundance, from the Sundance Lab, working with great actors who were in the audience, like Andre DeShields, Nathan Lee Graham. We got Keith David playing Dolomite. Man, shit. It's just an opportunity for me to grow, and I have a crazy imagination. I lose a lot of sleep behind it, and being able to give my poetry and my work and my storytelling to these actors who are really amazing talents, that's where I'm going. That's the next step. So.
One last question.
It's not really a question, it's more of a comment for Lemon. I had the pleasure of working with him about 2 years ago. We do voiceover work, and we worked on Notorious. And you were one of the few people in the room who actually had that urban sense, and your authenticity was there. And then we went to lunch, and I had no money. And you said, brother, don't worry about it. And it was heartening spiritually as well as intellectually. And you're just as authentic on the film as you are in life. And you can't be inauthentic in life and be authentic on the screen. So you're just real. And that's a beautiful thing, and it's heartening. In this world of Kardashians, it's nice to know that real actually still fucking exists in that.
Well, you got the $5 though? No. Actually, he paid me. He paid me today. I'm gonna go to New Apollo with that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually gonna wrap this up.
Lemon, the movie at Facebook, folks. And October 19th on PBS and October 16th, VOD, DVD, etc.